Hey everyone, SweetJohnnyCage here, back with another guide for Final Fantasy VII Remake. This time I'm going to show you how to take down the penultimate boss, Whisper Harbinger. Whisper Harbinger is actually 3 separate bosses. We have Whisper Rubrum, Viridia, and Crocheo. We're going to focus on Rubrum because he's a melee fighter, and he can kind of just fly in with attacks and interrupt everybody, so I recommend focusing on him first. With Cloud, we're going to cast Haste, and you want to make sure that you try to keep Haste on everybody as much as possible, as well as Barrier. We have the Barrier materia on Tifa, so we'll switch over to her in a little bit. With Cloud, however, you want to go into Punisher mode, and you want to just keep holding block because the majority of Rubrum's attacks are all physical, so Cloud can parry these. You can also cast Firaga, and if you'd like, you can put Ice and Elemental materia on your weapon with I suggest Cloud for this guy. But the problem is that the other 2 Whispers that you will have to take down, you're going to have to deal with elements for them anyway, so I don't recommend putting Elemental materia on your weapons. Maybe on your armor if you want to absorb some, but I wouldn't put it on the weapons. So we're going to keep on casting Barrier with Tifa on everybody, but we are going to primarily be using Cloud in this fight. So you want to focus down 1 Whisper at a time. That said, however, later on you will see an opportunity to kind of combine a bunch of them. And if you can use AoE attacks, use them. So we're going to keep blocking in Punisher mode here with Cloud. When the boss takes enough damage, he will get pressured. And after the boss gets pressured, or one of the bosses gets pressured, the Whisper Harbinger, the big dude in the background, will use an attack that changes the environment a bit. This is going to happen at around 50% when one of the Whispers gets to 50%. Harbinger is going to cast Correction, and I'm not going to get too deep into the lore of this because there's a lot of theories going around. I don't want to spoil anything for you, but he's going to cast Correction, and Barrett and Tifa will then leave the party, and then you're just going to run up this tunnel with Cloud. I believe that any barriers and haste kind of pause at this point. I'm just trying to look at the icons in the bottom right. I'm pretty sure they're paused, so nothing will run out while this is happening, I don't think. Going to get a little bit of a cutscene here, and I am going to cut out all the lore cutscenes, because again, I don't want to spoil anything for you, but there are lore cutscenes in the middle of this fight at different points. Once you reach the next platform, you will resume the fight against all 3 Whispers. Chances are they're all going to cast their ultimate abilities, so Firaga, Thundaga, and Whispers, so they're all going to do that, so I recommend just blocking right out the gate. With Cloud, switch back into Punisher mode, just start blocking everything. This is a much smaller platform than before, so chances are you're going to run into a little bit of trouble trying to block everything. So this is why you want to use your other characters to cast Haste, Barrier, heal up, get everybody on board with all that, and just kind of re-up your spells from before, and make sure you're watching your HP. So we're just going to keep focusing on Rubrum here. You want to just always focus 1 at a time. I have heard that this fight can change depending on which ones you kill first. Also, your party members can change depending on what difficulty you're playing on. So I will do this again on hardcore mode in a little while, or on hard difficulty, I should say. So Crochero over there keeps using these like Tony Stark abilities with the hand cannons. If Barrett had double hand cannons, that'd be pretty sick. But these Whispers are like ultimate versions of the characters, I guess. So the next boss is going to cast Crimson Arc, and then once that happens, usually this will happen at around 50%, the Harbinger will cast Intercession, and then this is time again to do some platforming. Barrett will bust away this bus, and then we can just follow the arrow onto this platform. Thinking about this now, this actually reminds me of Genova Death in the Northern Crater from the original game. I never thought about that before, but those individual brick platforms reminded me of that. So I'm going to hit the Harbinger here. You don't need to, I don't think, but he's immune, so it doesn't matter. This sliding section, unfortunately, is automatic. You don't actually have to control this. But once we come down here, we are going to face Rubrum solo. Now, again, I'm not sure if this will change depending on which Whisper you go for. But in my case, it was Rubrum, and we're going to do the same exact strategy here. Switch into Punisher mode, and just keep blocking, and eventually you will begin to stack the posture meter, and then you can begin, just dealing a ton of damage to him. But this will sort of be the second to last time you fight Rubrum. So we're going to try to kill him here, and then we're going to be actually able to deal damage to the Harbinger when we kill him. And there will be a lore cutscene coming up that I will cut out of this guide, so you won't see it. I want you to see that for yourself. Okay, so he's going to be casting Crimson Twist here. This is an ability that you have to block more than one time, so don't try to attack right after blocking. You're going to get hit again, so you can get 2 parries out of this, if you will. All right, so he's at about 50% HP. Very important, you want to make sure that people are topped up here, because in the next phase you're going to be faced with something pretty deadly. So you want to make sure you're keeping an eye on everybody's health pools and doing your best to keep them topped off. Keep everybody with haste and barrier as best you can. I know I'm not exemplifying that to the best of my ability. I could definitely be monitoring it. It's a little tough with these kind of like pseudo-action games. It gets a little crazy. So that ability right there, you can use a Punisher mode parry. I just was too slow. The only one that you can't parry is the beam that he throws. It's got to be a melee attack. So the boss is down. He is pressured. I recommend casting Braver. It'll just deal a ton of damage really quick, and then he'll get staggered. And from here, you want to deal as much damage as possible, because when one of these bosses is staggered, all damage then gets transferred over to the Whisper Harbinger. So just keep that in mind. You can build the stagger meter with Tifa if you want. I don't really recommend it because this is a little scripted. And yeah, like the Harbinger is only going to take so much damage from the Whispers. So it doesn't really matter. I don't really recommend building up the stagger meter. You're better off just dealing damage, if I'm being honest. All right, so we're going to cut out a cutscene here. And we are then, on the next platform, going to be faced with the other 2 Whispers. So we have Crocheo and Viridia. And we are down to Cloud, Barret, and Red 13 now. So it's a 2-on-2, or 2 plus 1-on-2, if you will, because Red 13's AI controlled. He's not going to be doing a ton for us here. He will come into full effect later on in the final part of this fight. So next up, we're going to focus on Veridia. And the reason for this is because Veridia can cast some AoE static abilities that will freeze your characters. So you got to be very careful of that. You got to watch the ground as you're fighting him. But we're going to be able to stagger him pretty quickly. So we're going to be curing up here. Again, you want to make sure you do your best to have barrier on people. Unfortunately, Tifa is no longer in my party. She'll come back later, but she had the barrier material, so that's why I'm not putting it on him. So, yeah, we're just going to keep focusing on Veridia here. Once you get about 25% HP out of the way, the Harbinger is going to cast Correction, and then we are going to have to move one more time. So we're going to get blown off to this section here, a little bit bigger of an arena, and then we can resume the fight. So no lore cutscene there, we just moved on to a different platform. Still focusing on Veridia. He is a lightning-based enemy, so if you have lightning and elemental material like I do on Barret here, not going to be super effective, but it's okay. They don't have a ton of HP, these 2 guys. Occasionally they can cast Temper on themselves. This will make their attacks a bit more deadly. They deal more damage when they're tempered. Just want to keep that in mind. It seems like they can also cast faster. As you can see here, he's doing Amber Judgment right after doing his previous attack, and that is dodgeable. So it's just a ball that moves relatively slow, although it does have homing properties, so you do have to get far away from it in order to effectively dodge it. I'm using his Iron Man abilities there. Azure Plume is an ability that I do believe you can parry. I do believe it counts as a physical attack, just with lightning elemental properties. So if you have Arrow, I recommend casting that. It'll deal quite a bit of damage to the boss, but it's a little tough to use because the boss has to be standing still, or at least in a small area, in order for it to be super effective. We're going to give it a shot here, see how it goes. Yeah, see the boss is backing up, and we're just going to get interrupted anyway. So I just really recommend sticking to physical attacks. Azure Burst is quite deadly, so you do want to make sure that you heal up after that happens. I'm going to save my elixirs for the next boss, the real final boss. I recommend doing the same, only because that boss will try to kill you really, really fast, and elixirs are very effective in that fight. So I also recommend saving your limit breaks until the phase with Bahamut. And the reason for that is because Bahamut has some crazy deadly abilities, and you want to get rid of him as quickly as possible. So I really recommend saving your limit breaks. Alright, so Crocheo is down. It's time to fully stagger him and just chip off the last of his life. So that's what we're going to do next. Unfortunately, Veridia is kind of in the middle of everything. But if you can, if they are together, Crocheo and Veridia, you want to try to use some AoE abilities. So I'm trying to push him away with Cloud here, but I'm going to go back to Crocheo with Cloud and deal the rest of the damage. As you can see in the top right corner, Whisper Harbinger's health is starting to go down. We're going to cast Infinity's End with Cloud. This is like one of the most effective abilities here. So yeah, it would really just destroy one of the Whispers once they're staggered. So I really recommend just building up 2 ATBs, casting Infinity's End. It's like a free limit break with the amount of damage it does. It's crazy. Alright, so we are down to one last Whisper here, although not for long. So we're just going to keep going after him. Use your Mega Potions, use your Ethers. You want to stock back up. And you want to do your best to heal back up as well, because the next phase is when Bahamut comes out. And he takes no prisoners. You want to make sure you are healed up as high as possible with him. So Veridia is staggered, so now it's time to just deal as much damage as we can to him. Cast Infinity's End again, use Maximum Fury, he'll die, and then it is time for another lore cutscene. I will cut this out, so don't worry. And we're going to come back with Cloud, Tifa, and Aerith. So, we have all 3 Whispers again, at max HP. We have to employ the same strategy here. But for this first phase, I don't recommend wasting too much MP. I really recommend just focusing on one, dealing a little bit of damage, because eventually the 3 Whispers will combine to form Whisper Bahamut. And that is really the hardest part of this entire fight is Whisper Bahamut. The reason for that is because just like his summon form, which I don't have yet, but is available in this game if you complete all 19 Battle Intel missions, Bahamut VR is the 20th. So in case you're looking for him, he is in the game. But Bahamut, just like his summon form, does have Mega Flare, and that is an ability that we have to make sure we can survive. So right before Bahamut comes out and as he's coming out, you want to make sure you're casting healing abilities and just kind of mess with the Whispers here until they bring him out. So it should be happening here soon. We're going to barrier everybody up, haste everybody up, and heal everybody up. Just kind of make sure everybody is in fighting shape for Bahamut, because he's going to be coming out here pretty soon. Casting Cura with Cloud. You want to be very smart with your heals, of course. You know, if you don't need to cast Curaga, don't cast a Curaga. Use Cura or Cure or even Regen. I'm not a big Regen person, but I know some people are, so just be smart with your heals. Unfortunately, Rubberum was just, tossing Cloud around the red-headed stepchild with those impales. Very annoying, very frustrating. So we're going to cure that all the way back up. And Bahamut should be coming out here pretty soon. Yeah, so the Whispers will eventually start moving towards each other. And when that happens, it's time for Bahamut. So we're going to eat this last Firaga here, get some more attacks. The Whispers fly into the middle, and here comes Bahamut. So again, while this is happening, cast Cure, get your Ethers in, get everybody's MP up, cure everybody, barrier, haste, everything. You want to make sure you are in fighting shape for Bahamut. So the Whispers combine, Bahamut comes out, and you'll notice I have a limit break with Cloud. We're going to cast that almost straight away. So just keep that in mind. If you have any limit breaks, now is the time to use it. Because after you defeat Bahamut, you just go back to a regular Whisper fight, and it's the same thing you've done 3 times already. So go ahead, use your limit break on Bahamut. Keep in mind that you can be attacked during limit breaks, or at least as they're starting up. You can be attacked, so make sure you have enough HP to survive a couple of slashes from Bahamut. Once we use a limit, Bahamut will go down. We can start building his pressure meter. If you want, switch over to Tifa, and then you can use her Unbridled Strength to build up to Rise and Fall. Her triangle abilities build stagger really, really quickly, and they can also raise the stagger limit above 160%, all the way up to like 600 if you want. So yeah, just keep that in mind. You can do that, but I really recommend just trying to build ATB as much as possible, because as you're about to see here, even though he's below 50% HP because of that whole limit break and stagger phase, he's going to start murdering me. So it's really important that you just do your best to keep everybody topped off. So here comes Mega Flare. You'll notice that the summon is available, but I'm not going to use it until the end because I wanted to try to demonstrate that you don't need summons to do this. I'm going to summon Leviathan later because I got him through the VR mission. I have a guide for that on the channel if you need, but I'm not going to use him until the very, very end when it's almost unnecessary. Okay, so Mega Flare has been cast, and it is time to start healing everybody back up. Aerith is below 1,000 HP. Tifa's, at 50%. Cloud is below 50%. And Bahamut has these fireballs that he can throw at you. They're 2 big ones. You can dodge them if you're far enough away. But if you're close to him, it's a lost cause. You're going to take 2,000 damage super easy. So we're going to do our best to cure up Tifa and Aerith, and then bring Cloud back up. So we have cast another limit break with Tifa. We did Dolphin Flurry, and that killed Bahamut. The Whispers come back out, and it's time to deal with them again, just like we did before. The tricky part here is that because we're down to 2 party members, that means that it's a 3-on-2, and they will likely focus whoever you're controlling. So you want to do your best to bring up your 3rd party member, get them healed up, Cloud's going to die here again because he just can't catch a break. So this next part does get a little messy, but I'm not perfect. You're probably not either. It's okay. It's going to be all right. We are in the home stretch of this fight here. All right, so Sweep is coming. You can switch over to Punisher mode very late for that ability. If you're far away, it tracks the entire arena. It'll go from one side to the other, so you can, parry it very, very late. You don't have to be close to him in order to do it. So keep that in mind. Switch over to Aerith here, build up some ATB as best we can. Try to dodge everything, and we're gonna try to bring Cloud back up one more time. Third time is the charm, I promise it. First, we're gonna heal up Tifa. This way she doesn't die over there. Do keep in mind, however, that heals in this game are not instant. The spell, the actual orb, has to reach them. So I found that out the hard way in this fight, believe it or not. Items are instant, it seems, but spells are not. So you want to make sure you keep that in mind. And you'll see that Aerith is casting Curaga all the way across the arena, and I ran towards it to get it. This way I didn't die. And I did that just in time. Alright, so now that everybody's back up to full health, we're going to do what we've always done. We're going to focus on Rubrum first. He is pressured. I noticed that in this final phase, they become pressured much more quickly than usual. So cast Infinity's End. That will for sure bring him down below 1% HP. Then he gets the full stagger. You just want to deal as much damage as you can. And then this way, the Harbinger goes below 50% HP. If you don't deal enough damage when the stagger meter runs out of the third one, I'm pretty sure it'll get back up, and you got to do it all over again with the last one. So you want to make sure you get as much damage in on these guys as possible when they are staggered. Don't worry about, messing with anything else. So we just cut out a lore cutscene there. You're going to get a lore cutscene after each Whisper dies in this phase. So keep that in mind. I'll cut them all out for you so you can see them for yourself. We're now going to focus on Viridia. This is the lightning one, so if you have any air magic, use that. Aeroga, very effective. But you do want to watch out for Cochero over there. Very important that you watch out for his beams. Look at that. I mean, it looks like Tony Stark from Iron Man 2. It's crazy. So we are going to finally summon Leviathan, and it's going to help us take down these last two. Again, you can see my health pools, you can see my MP, my items. Not really necessary, but just wanted to speed this up. So we are going to cast Gyre Spume. This is going to do... we're going to cast Briny Barrage this first time. Gyre Spume comes later. This is an AoE beam that Leviathan casts. Very effective against really anything. Leviathan's not elemental, so you can't really resist him. So Veridia is down to 1%. I'm going to stagger him real fast. The Harbinger is going to go a little crazy. And then we're going to do our best to get as close as possible to Veridia. And hopefully we can do some splash damage onto Cochero. Cochero is going to cast Erode, which will knock us away, but that's okay. Keep dealing as much damage as we can. Cast Infinity's End. You always want to do Infinity's End at this point. It's going to absolutely destroy them. Barrett and Red 13 will use Fire in the Hole and Stardust Ray. Cut out the next lore cutscene, and we have one more Whisperer to deal with. Get him down very, very quickly. It's a 3-on-1. He's got no chance. Amber Whirl, what a crazy ability. It just looks incredible. It does so much damage, but I love staring at it. But yeah, it's going to end here. So there's a lot of lore after this, so I'll just stop talking now. After you get the final Whisper down, the boss will seem to come back up. The Harbinger will come back up. You just have to hit him one time. He's got 1 HP left, and the fight will end. But that's it. If you guys have any questions, please feel free to leave a comment. I'll do my best to help you out. You can also join my new community Discord. The link for that is in the video description below. If you're looking for more guides for Final Fantasy VII Remake, please subscribe to the channel so you get alerted when new guides go live. If you're interested in supporting the channel monetarily, please consider becoming a channel member by clicking the blue join button below this video. Don't forget to follow me on Twitter and on Twitch. And as always, I'm SweetJohnnyCage. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.
Barry, now!
Ain't no stopping us